I'm not sure when I'm gonna release this, but today is the 31st of May, and tomorrow, you guys don't know yet, of course, well, right now at this date, but I'm going to rehab again. Not the bicep rehab, the rehab, drug addiction rehab. So I guess the past month has been harder on me than you guys think. So I feel like I need to go back because I did have at first I thought it was a slip. Like a year ago I had a slip where I used like drugs and stuff like the hard drugs for like a day or two. Then I was here for like a month and then I was fine for after 3 weeks and the obsession was gone. But this time around I did make a mistake of picking up again and I stopped and then I thought I could stop by myself and then I didn't tell my friends because I didn't want to stress it out to anybody. So I stopped by myself. Then 2 days later it was too strong in my head. Like I would have to pick up again and I did. So for a whole month I was like just trying to manage that myself. And of course it doesn't work. Like if you really have a problem like I did, it doesn't work. So at some point my friends were like worried. People were like, because it's kind of like at some point like you can hide it for a little bit, but you hide it by avoiding people. And then if I'm avoiding people, if I'm not doing as many stories or if my stories are different, my friends know me, right? So at some point they just knew. So I was like, I couldn't like hide it anymore. And I told her, yeah, good, I'll be good. But then I would like lie and shit because that's what addicts do. I mean, we lie because we don't want to stress out our friends and our family and our loved ones, but we lie also because some of them sometimes we want to keep using. But me, I just knew that I wasn't supposed to do that. And I was trying to stop by myself, so I was lying, thinking that I could stop in 2 days and it would go unnoticed and I could go back to my routine and the things I would do, but it didn't work. So let's see the timeline here. So I got sick at the end of April, just before I was moving. I got sick, and then I think by being by myself, secluded for that long, not training, because the thing at some point is that that's a mistake I did, because I'll tell you why I think I relapsed. I'll tell you why right now. So for the whole year of 2020, I was prepping for shows, right? And I was obsessed on the shows. So when you're obsessed on something, you don't feel like, it's if you don't feel good or if you have a void like I do, like a lot of people do, you're not gonna feel that. But usually when I don't prep, I feel that void, and the only way to fill it is by being really active in your recovery, going to 12-step meetings, sharing about the recovery with people, helping people with that. So you're filling the void by helping others and also by having a relationship with your higher power and just being really proactive towards it, like knowing that, okay, there's something there that I need to be aware of and I need to be cautious of. But what happened is that during this whole year of 2020, I didn't feel like using drugs at all. Why is that? Because I was obsessing over something else, over the shows. So I didn't do as much meetings, and at the same time, the lockdown happened, so for a while, there was no meetings. So I was like, no, I don't need to deal with that right now. I don't need to go. I don't feel like I should be going because I feel great. I don't feel like using drugs. Like for the first time in my life, I didn't feel like using at all because I was, like I said, obsessing over the shows. So, but what happened is that, yeah, it was great when the shows were there, but as soon as the Olympia was done, there was like no more anything to fill that void because I was using the competition, the contest rep for that. So then I was stuck with like feeling it again. And then the meetings were not there yet. There were online meetings. Like when I say meetings, I mean like 12 steps. It's a very useful way for me at least to stay on track and keep my addiction like at bay is by doing those 12 steps meeting and helping others with their own recovery. But I didn't do that. And I also fucked around with like prescribed medication, like like Xanax and things like that, because I was like, I can't sleep, so I heard Xanax helps calm your nerves. I don't know why I went to the strongest one. I could have used something weaker. But then I started doing that, and then after the show I had trouble stopping that, and I was also like taking too much Adderall. I do have ADHD, but then I was like, oh, maybe I'll take more. So I started like doing things that were kind of a sign that I was like drifting away, but because I didn't feel like using like party drugs, I was like, oh, I'm good. So when the Olympia finished, I was like stuck with those same habits of like using the Xanax and stuff. I did stop it by myself, and that was fine. But I think what happened with over a few months, I felt like I wasn't like stable with my recovery, and I started having thoughts, I guess, that I did a party one time. I drank and stuff, and used some drugs, but not the crazy hard drugs. But what happened at some point with when I got sick, and I was like stuck in quarantining myself, I was like, at some point I just did give a shit as I could, and because I was relying also, because every morning I was training with Big Mike, and I was like, I can't use drugs if I'm training with Big Mike the next morning. So I was relying on my training to give me to be accountable and give me like a structure, which is great. But at some point I got sick, so I wasn't training with Big Mike anymore. So I had nothing to protect myself in my head. So I was like, you know what? I don't have to train tomorrow morning. I give myself excuses to go pick up, and I did. And I knew I should have not done that. Because there's a few things that keeps me from picking up, I guess, is like when I'm really accountable to somebody, like training with Big Mike, or if I'm in like if I don't have anybody that is with me, because I was by myself, right? So nobody would know I was saying this. So I did the mistake to pick up, and then I was like, okay, we gotta stop. But then I didn't stop because I was only by myself, and then I had to move and stuff at the same time. It was such a fucking nightmare. So I was like sick, and I was using like drugs to try to make me feel better, but it didn't work. And then I was moving by myself. Nobody wanted to help me because they were scared of getting sick. So it made me feel like rejected, I guess, which in my head I was like, emotionally I didn't deal with that well. So I got drugs again, and then I moved by myself. And then because I was, I guess, dehydrated, and the surgeon said my tendons were already bound to tear, was bound to happen, I was moving by myself. I guess I was on drugs, tore my bicep, so that fucked me up even more. So I was like pretty fucked up. I was pretty fucked up. And at some point, my friends just noticed. They were like, and I was like, shit, I don't think I can stop. So I was like, I need help from my friends. And then my friends said like, yeah, we're not gonna do like last year. We can't be a crutch every time you relapse. Like, so I was like, shit. But at the same time, I was like, I didn't want to go to a full rehab where I'm losing my sponsors, because back in the day when I was like really bad, I already lost everything. So I didn't give a shit of going 6 months somewhere, because that's the thing I had to do. But now I did find a rehab. It's called a CCAF or something. It's one of those like luxury rehabs, so it costs a lot of money. You want to know how much it costs for 30 days? $20,000. $20,000. But you know what? I'll be able to 1 hour a day to work on my computer for my posts and things like that. And I don't have to use 30 days in a row. I can use 2 weeks, come back 1 week, go back another 2 weeks. So it was perfect. The only thing that is bad about it is the price, but at this point it doesn't matter. I have to do that. So yeah, so what I've learned from this so far, because I'll do other videos on it, is that even though in 2020 my recovery, like I didn't feel like using hard drugs, I should have kept my recovery really strong. And I did give myself a little bit of like wiggle room after the Olympia, like for partying, and I should have not done that. So I should have kept my recovery strong. I should have kept doing the online meetings, or at least like help people like really like every day with their own recovery online. Or because I was helping 2 guys, and then one of them I'm still helping. He doesn't know my relapse. Like, how do you tell your... So you're supposed to be an example. So you're supposed to be an example, and you fail. So a reason why also I didn't tell anybody, I guess, is because, yeah, I feel ashamed. It's normal. Like, I'm supposed to have my shit together, be an example. I've done 4 fucking rehabs, and then fucking relapse again at 33 years old and going to another one. So, yeah, so I'm gonna have to tell them, yeah, I'm an example, but I fucked up. But you know what? It's a good example to not fucking take it for granted, to take sobriety for granted. And it's a good example also that, you know, if it's going well, fucking make sure you're still on it, because the addiction, it's like cunning. Because what it did is that the whole year I didn't feel like using drugs. So it's like a addiction. If you think of it as like an entity or like the devil or whatever, it took a break. It was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait to strike at the right time. So it waited until I didn't have any recovery, a strong recovery, but then it waited a little bit more. It let me use a few drugs here and there, party a little bit, without any consequences, really, without any bad consequences. It waited even then. And then I got sick. And I was by myself. I was in training, so I didn't have any structure of my training. I was lonely, and I was like, because there's a few triggers that it's called a halt. If you're hungry, angry, lonely, and tired, you're weak against addiction. And I don't know if I was hungry, maybe not, but I was angry that I was sick. I was angry that I was left alone by my friends, even though I was sick. And I was lonely because I was alone, because I was quarantining from my sickness. And I was tired also. I was just tired because I was sick, right? I was not feeling well. So it waited at that time. In my head, the tape started playing like, oh, maybe I should, I could get away with it. And I didn't think right. And why did I think like that? Because that's how I think. I'm a fucking extremist, right? I have an addict mind. Even if I'm gonna be sober and away from my drug of choice for like 10 years, my head still thinks like an addict. It will always will. So, and then it waited at that time, and then I picked up and then I tore my bicep. So, and then it stroke again. So I got fucked. I got tricked by the devil of addiction once again. But what's making me go back on the right track is just, I told my friends, and it took me a while. Like I was lying to Sam. I was lying to my friends a little bit because I didn't want to stress them out. I didn't want I wanted to minimize the consequences. But at some point, you just can't hide it anymore. You just have to be like, hey, look, I'm a fuck up. I fucked up. And which is why I'm making this video. And I'm not going to release it right away while I'm in the rehab, because I want to complete it. And then I want to show that to you guys, so you guys know that, hey, like, when things go too well, don't slack off, because it's going to get you again. So this is why I'm doing this video. But I'm going to do another one in 2 weeks after the first part of the rehab I'm going to do, because I'm going to go 2 weeks, and then I'm going to come back. Either like I'm going to go up north with my friend Aaron, or I'm going to come here for a week, and then I might go back again, because I got some videos to do. I want to do another video for my channel explaining more of the recovery part this time. And so at some point you just have to denounce yourself. If you're stuck into a loop and you're lying to your friends and you're about to dig your grave even deeper, you got to denounce yourself. So so it's I know that because I have like a status online, I guess. I'm gonna use it for the better. By doing that, it makes me even more accountable. So when I'll be good and I release these things, people, some people will be like, "Oh, good job," and some people will talk shit. But you know what? As long as it's helping a few handful of people, that's the best, and it's gonna help me also to help others. It's part of the thing, part of the program. So this is where we're at right now, May 31st, tomorrow at 4 p.m. I'm going to be in this rehab in Toronto, and I think you guys will probably see this video maybe a month from now in July. So yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, and do all that shit. And thanks for watching.